So throughout the hour, you've heard us talking about the Tri-Start concert series beginning in February. They're very excited about that here in Cleveland and Bradley County. One of the reasons for the excitement, besides the give back to the community, is who's going to be up on that stage headlining the evening. We happen to have one of the artists with us now this morning, Jack Clark, who is a local legend here in Cleveland and points beyond. So nice to see you this morning.
Well, thank you.
You've been entertaining us a little bit with some wintry weather songs on the piano.
It's appropriate time of the year.
I don't quite know where to begin our conversation, so I guess let me kind of fill you in on what we've been talking about before we came to you.
Okay.
Which is the power of music for kids in the course of their school day and throughout, the power it brings to their lives. You began to tickle those ivories when you were how old?
5.
5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think then as a kid, do you remember, because you went on to have a career, quite a stellar one, in Southern gospel music, playing all across the country, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Recently, right? This year.
Do you remember as a kid dreaming, thinking, man, I'd give anything if I could do this for a living?
It was always in my mind, and I thought I would love to do it for a living. And at the same time, where I grew up, there was no possibility.
Let's talk about where you grew up. You grew up
Mountains of southern West Virginia.
You told me a minute ago that there was a saying in the mountains of southern West Virginia. Can you repeat it?
Oh yeah, the philosophy there that I grew up with, if you are too lazy to work and too nervous to steal, you've either got to be a musician or a preacher.
So you became a little of both, right?
Mainly musician.
Mainly musician.
Yeah, I found out early I couldn't preach.
We're going to have a lovely conversation, I hope, and you'll play for us a little bit, but I'll let you name drop a little as we begin, because Southern gospel music is big around here. People love it.
Yes, it is.
It is not unique to the South, however. You were playing for a while in California.
Yeah.
But you have played with some people quite well known. You're proud of some work that you did with a group out of Sand Mountain?
Yeah.
Called?
And they were called the Premiers, and they were operated by a gentleman named Marlon Pendergrass. That was in the mid-'80s to about 2000. The major part of my work as a pianist for a gospel group took place in the 60s and 70s.
And that was when you were where?
For the longest period of time, for 8 years, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina with a group called the Harvesters. And that is the group I was telling you earlier, and that's the group that went to Southern California.
And that's where you would pack a crowd, 10,000 plus, right?
Yeah.
So what is it about the power, do you think, of gospel music that makes people always want to come back for more?
It's the music of the people. It's the music that the people understand and identify with.
They can go back to a point in time in their lives where either they felt lost or they felt found.
Yeah.
So you are originally from West Virginia. You came to Cleveland for your work. You had kind of put the music aside in a way, and you came to work as an assistant editor at a very special place to the folks here in Cleveland. Where were you working?
Yeah, that was at the Church of God Publishing House, and we were, the part of it that I worked in, we were the publishers of the Redback Hymnal. Of course, that had already been done before I got here. But we were the music publishing arm of the entire Church of God.
So in that Redback Hymnal, as I understand it, the songs within it have never changed. Once it was published, it's the same edition.
Once it was published, it was the same. And they have, at best report we can find, there have been about 6 million copies of that hymnal sold through the years.
So you were telling us about something unique, I gather, in a way, to that Redback Hymnal. When you open it, the music is going to look different for a lot of people.
It is. It is. It is done in shaped notes. And that's just a whole new way of teaching music. Not necessarily a new way. It dates all the way back to the 12th century.
And it's just a different way of reading music.
It's a different way of reading.
It's a
Yes.
gift for you. You don't mind at all hiding from that, do you? This is a gift you feel you were given, and
This
you're
is a
proud to
gift
use it.
that God gave me in the original parts of it, and without that, I would never have been successful. And without that, I probably would never have wanted to do this.
You know, I asked you at the beginning if you thought you always wanted to play, if that had been your dream. You also told me a story about when you were, I guess, high school age, wanting to go to college, and there were two colleges that you could have gone to there in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell that story?
And the only two that were available to me at the time, I auditioned at the music department of both. One of them wanted me to be a classical concert pianist. The other wanted me to be a piano player for a dance band. And I was not interested in either of those. I wanted to play gospel. I grew up with gospel. I love gospel, and I still do.
Was it played in your house? Were your parents musicians?
My mother was musical. My mother is the one who started me with piano, and she taught me with her limited knowledge up to a point, and then turned me over to a series of private teachers until I was about 16 or 17.
When you're listening to someone play the piano, whether it's in a recording or in a concert, what is the most challenging part of playing the instrument? I'm in awe of the tone you can create, how you can use that pinky finger to pull out the melody as opposed to letting your thumb drown it out.
It's hard to say, really. But you learn how to do this. I tell students all the time that you do not play the piano with your fingers. You play the piano with your head. Your hands are able to accomplish anything that your brain tells them to do. So this becomes a very mental thing.
That muscle memory as well.
Yeah.
So I know we have to let you go, and we've got to go too and hear some more from these talented students that we've had a chance to highlight this morning. But when you hear about programs like this, or you talk to kids who are thinking about beginning to pick up a musical instrument, besides the fact that it's going to improve your mind, and what is the biggest takeaway, I guess, that music has brought for you?
Learn the music. Learn what you are doing. Become a student, because if you do not become a student, the day will come when you will find yourself unable to do what you need to do, and you will have to give it up. But if you know your music, if you've done your homework, you can stay.
I hope that day never comes for you. You keep on playing that music.
Bless you.
Thank you for the welcome this morning. And you
Thank
can
you,
go
Julie.
and hear him in concert at this TriStar concert series, the first one beginning, as you see there on your screen, in February. You want to play us out?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That was great.